All right. And I do believe that we are live. Welcome, everybody. It's Sunday night. It's 7 p.m. on the West Coast. It's 9 a.m. on Monday in Vietnam. And it's 10 p.m. over on the East Coast. And if you're watching this, that means that you are ready to laugh with us and catch episode 450 of the Comedy Workshop. I'm your host, Tara Christian Wiedner. And tonight I am joined by Valerie Benti and Jeremy, I can never remember his last name. Wagner. All right, I got Jeremy Wagner and Valerie Benti with me tonight. And if you have never seen an episode of the workshop, here's how it's going to go. Each of us were given a writing prompt to write a set of 3 to 5 minutes on said prompt. We're going to deliver those jokes, and then we're going to have a little session of feedback in a round table order. And then we're going to punch those jokes up. We're going to make them even better so that way we could tell them at a future date. Once we get through the first round, we're going to go around again and bring some jokes that we have written on our own time and told previously. So that way we could add some tags, get some constructive criticism, and make those jokes even better. So this is where jokes are born and where they come to get their new flair. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get things started. Starting the timer. And my writing prompt for today was Clue. Now, yes, I am going where you think I'm going to, and that is the lovely movie starring Tim Curry, Clue. However, I think we need to go a little deeper here, so I would like, if I may, to take you on a really strange fucking journey, okay? Because I want to delve into Blue's Clues, an origin story. Yeah, we're going to talk about Tim Curry starring as Steve Wadsworth. Yeah, he's a chappy little young lad in a striped green shirt, and he's actually a butler in a very big house. Now, we've all seen Clue. We know what goes down. Wadsworth is hosting the party for the Clue people. We've got Mr. Green, Mrs. White, Colonel Mustard, Ms. Scarlet, Professor Plum, and Ms. Peacock. All right, we know the usual players. Now, everyone's having a grand old time, but then what happens? Puppy Magenta and her brother Riff Raff bust in. I know, and they force everyone to do this really weird off-the-wall version of the time warp. I know. Shit gets crazy. And then through some weird Hollywood Beauty and the Beast magic, all of the party guests who were there under the watchful eye of Steve Wadsworth then morphed into the lovable characters that we know as Mr. Pepper, Mrs. Salt, Mailbox, Baby Paprika, Slippery Slope. Yeah, that's what this is. Slippery Soap and Blue. Yes, what else could Mrs. Peacock be except for the blue puppy because she already had on the matching dons. Now, while all of this is going down, Steve Wadsworth gets sent off to college and he returns as Dr. Frank Enfurter. But he didn't go to medical school. He's not a real doctor. He actually dropped out sophomore year and then found his true calling on the stage as a drag performer. So that's how we end up with Dr. Frankenfurter, the sweet transvestite from transsexual Transylvania. I know, shit's going off the rails, right? Nick Jr.'s never going to greenlight this. But I think that it's got some promise here because not only did we just open up a whole freaking multiverse where it's going to end with Tim Curry in his current wheelchair as the criminologist with no neck telling this whole Rocky Horror holy shit story. But now we've got Blue's Clues, we've got Clue, we've got a board game. I just taught you some stuff, and now I just took 3 movies and wove them all together, and life is never going to be the same. So that went for about 3 minutes, which is about what I thought this crazy ass thing that I jotted down would be. So I'm going to call that my time. Let's open it up for some feedback. Oh, Valerie, starting with you. What do you got for me?
What a wild ride.
Right?
Some weird mashup episode of like, I think I love it, but like the only risk is that not everyone would know every thing you're mashing together. So for me, like I know Blue's Clues and the game Clue. I don't even know what the other one was. Oh, was it Rocky Horror Picture Show? Did I get all 3? Yeah. Cool. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think it just like went a little fast in terms of references for me, but I don't know how. Like part of that works just because of the madness of it, but then
Mhm.
there is a risk that like if there are specific jokes, I probably didn't get all of them because it's like, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah, it is everywhere. I I think that there's actually less to it. I just talked really fast. I wanted to get it all out in 5 minutes, and I way overestimated what I wrote. But yeah, I totally dig where you're going there. Um,
I like your notes though, that are just like it seems like a conspiracy theory at work. That just like
yeah,
Ramblings of a
that's part of
psychopath.
it. You need to show them.
yeah. Well, there are arrows. It's like, okay, Steve goes to college. Wait, no, he's not a real doctor. Yeah, that I think if I built it up with more reference backstory thing, I think I was trying to cram a lot of thought that happened in the span of an hour into a 5 minute thing. But yeah, totally noted and writing all that in. Do you have any more feedback for me before we move on to Jeremy?
Nope. Jeremy,
Awesome.
go ahead.
Thank you.
Oh, I was gonna say the same thing as Valerie. I didn't see the movie Clues, but I know the game. But I was thinking, Blues Clues. What's the sound they make when they discover a Blues Clues? It's like I don't know. It's some weird sound. But Blues Clue, he was what gave away that Miss Peacock was actually Mr. Peacock. I don't know.
We could go there.
I don't know where that's going. Blue balls, Mrs. Peacock. I don't know.
It could happen. I'm trying to think of if I don't think there is a Mr. Peacock in the movie or the game, but I mean,
But I
none
think
of
it's
this
the
shit
male.
made sense, huh?
I'm pretty sure it's the male peacock that's all like beautiful, while the female peacock is not.
Yeah. The male is actually the one called the peacock, whereas the female is called a peahen. I know we're learning shit here. Who'd have thunk it?
I would have went with something else, but yeah.
Yeah, I definitely would have too.
No, I don't
Yeah.
have any feedback. I'm sorry.
Awesome. That's okay, because I just bombarded you guys with a whole lot of nonsensical bullshit. So
Made total sense.
You made it.
thank you, Valerie. Yeah, made total sense. Wow, we just found the bullshitter in the room. Speaking of, Valerie, you are up. Whenever you are ready, let me know your topic and when you'd like me to start the timer.
The topic is cheerleaders, and you can go ahead. This is probably just going to end up being a rant. I did not grow up in the United States, so I did not go to high school here, and so I do not understand cheerleaders more than like what I learned in 2000s movies. I hope Bring It On was in the 2000s. I actually didn't fact check that, but I think it was. It feels right. So in my head, cheerleaders is just like some scheme where people go and culturally appropriate dances from other schools, because obviously that's what it was all about, and also something about jazz hands, but I don't think that was successful. And I think there was like a magical baton, which is a baton the right word? But like basically there's some magic thing, and if you lose it, then you lose your cheerleading power. So maybe cheerleaders are superheroes somehow. I'm not sure. I guess like their only superpower is distraction from other stuff going on. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I grew up in Europe. We do not have the same sports culture that happens around here, and definitely not in high schools. I heard that there like is such a thing as pep rallies, which to me just sounds like an excuse not to have class. But we didn't have that. We just had to go to class, which is maybe tells you more about the stage of education in the United States. But let me not go there because I don't know. I didn't go to school here. What else can I say? There's an episode in the show called Misfits, which is basically a UK version of Heroes, which kind of works because I think Bring It On 4, which was with the cheerleader from Heroes. But anyway, obscure reference. In Misfits, there's an episode where the cheerleaders are zombies, which just confirms that cheerleaders are just evil, and like it's some kind of weird zombie virus that gets passed along, because who else would like want to be cheerful the whole time and walk around school in like a cheerleading uniform? I don't know. Not for me. There's no way I would ever like be able to be a cheerleader, not because I'm like not flexible or anything, which I totally am not, but I don't know, probably like too tall. I don't know if you can tell by my t-shirt at all, but I'm tall. I'm also too hungry, so I don't think I have the right figure to be a cheerleader. What else? I'm glad this is being recorded because I did not write anything of this down. I want to refer to this later. There's like at least 3 things that I said that could have been funny, but yeah, all I know is, hey, Mickey, you're so fine. And that's what cheerleading is to me. How many minutes did I get to by ranting?
You, in 15 seconds, you will have hit 3 minutes.
Okay, I'll, I don't know.
Rah, rah, rah.
Give me a C. I don't know. Woo! And pom-poms. Who made, I don't know. It's always weird. I'm going to stop there. I almost got it to 3, so I'll make it count.
I love it. Give it up to Valerie Benty on cheerleaders. Holy crap. I love the movie Bring It On. I was like, yeah, that's totally in the 2000s. But then I'm like, nope, they were class of 99, just like me. So I think that movie came out in 1998 because I do remember referencing it my senior year. So go Toros.
It is culturally very significant. Like, I love it too.
Fuck yeah, man. Yeah. Except for like, I know that there are sequels, but the fact that you know that the cheerleader from Heroes is in number 4, I mean, that right there, I got to give you some props, because I would have thought that it was like the 3rd one or the 7th. I don't know. They're like Jaws movies. They just keep happening.
Could be 3. I have no idea. She's in one of them, and it's not the 2nd. That's all I know.
Right? Spirit Fingers. That's it wasn't Jazz Hands, it was Spirit Fingers, and they were phenomenally important to that movie. I definitely feel that Spirit Fingers has a decent reference with cheerleaders, whether they've seen Bring It On or not. I did write cheerleader superhero because I was going to reference that we had one, and then you had already touched on it, so that the feedback is null and void. Pep rallies, I feel like there could be layers. Like, yes, it is an excuse to leave class, but those of us that weren't at the pep rallies, what were we doing? Because you could go into the whole other subgenre of those that weren't at the pep rallies, but still got to benefit from not having class at that time. We're not going to go into what I was doing. This isn't about me. And closing it out with, oh, Mickey, you're so fine. Not only did you earworm me, but I feel like that could actually get like a little parody line that could create a really good closer. That's really all the feedback I have. Mostly just compliments and tags. I loved every bit of it. And anyone that can rant on cheerleaders for 3 minutes is a friend of mine. So yeah, fucking loved it. Jeremy, what do you got for?
I liked the distraction, and then I got to thinking about sitting in the front row of the bleachers at the football games, and then I got distracted for a minute. And then I remembered they're wearing 2 layers of underwear, so I should quit getting distracted. And then I was thinking, you said you couldn't be part of the cheerleading team. You could probably be the base and the top of the pyramid at the same time. And that way nobody would fall or get hurt or anything like that, because it would just be 2 short girls standing next to you. And, you could, and then Spirit Fingers, that's how the girls actually became zombies in that level 4. I don't know.
You got
some dead guy showed up at school that day, and well, the rest is, history. That's all I got. I think those underwear were called bloomers.
Really, that's really Victorian era, isn't?
What were the? Oh gosh, Spankies. They're called Spankies.
Okay.
I have never been a cheerleader. I was actually on the color guard, which is like the opposite of cheerleading. We were twirling the flags with the marching band. But yeah, I know enough about cheerleaders from hating them so much. You just kind of absorb their culture through osmosis. It's, you really can't stop it. It's like knowing who Snooki is. I didn't actively search out the information, but I know it. So yeah, they're called Spankies. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's something there too. Spankies, really?
Spankies or spank me's is what they'll call them sometimes.
There was also like the Spanx for older women that would like.
What do you mean older women? I totally wore them.
I wear Spanx.
My bad. I'm sorry. I don't know.
No, Spanx are phenomenal. Spankies, however, are
weird.
Absolutely weird. I mean, why wear underwear over your underwear, especially when you're going to be that much of a hoe? I'm sorry to any cheerleaders that are watching, but this is a comedy safe space and we're allowed to say whatever we want. Did I forget that at the top of the show? Oh, yeah. All right. Now that I've slut-shamed cheerleaders of America, let's move on to slut-shaming our next panel. No, I'm totally kidding. Jeremy, I got nothing to slut-shame you about because all I know is comedy from you. So, sir, whenever you're ready, let me know your topic and tell me when to start the timer.
My topic was fireflies, and I also just wrote this just like an hour ago. So sometimes fireflies are referred to as kleptoparasitism. I don't know. They're a parasite that steals shit. They steal food. They'll steal your girlfriend if you're not paying attention. Fireflies are actually beetles, whereas many people call them fireflies or lightning bugs. These insects are neither flies or bugs. They're actually beetles made by Volkswagen. There are more than 2,000 species of fireflies worldwide, which means they produce a lot of babies during their short lives. They're only alive for actually 4 weeks. And flashes, like the light flash from a firefly, this is a language of love. Fireflies use the flash as a mating signal. And it's typically the males that are usually trying very hard. They're flying in your yard at night while the females sit up in the tree and they send like a little tweet light if they're interested, or I don't know, booty call light, I guess. Fireflies spend most of their lives in larva stage, and then the 3 or 4 weeks that they are alive, it's nothing but firefly sex every night. I mean, every time I see fireflies, I get stunned. I'm like, oh, fireflies. Of course they're getting laid every night. Fireflies light up as soon as they're like larva form. So they're in the ground and they're lighting up. But there's a certain species of firefly, as they become adult, they do not light. And these ones are called dark fireflies. And then we'll talk about the firefly women. They lure in unsuspecting males of other species, and then they eat those males for dinner. And if that's not gangster dark firefly lady friend, I don't know what is. We call them femme fatales, is what the article I read this from. They sneak onto a spider's web and they'll steal food from a spider. And when they eat bugs that have poison, that poison goes into their body and they put it into the eggs so that animals won't eat the eggs or other bugs won't eat the eggs. There's also winter fireflies, and these are known as whiteys. Not really. They don't light up. They're just bugs that stick to the trees. Some fireflies will flash in unison to signify an orgy, but many times it just ends up as a circle jerk. Firefly populations are threatened by light pollution, like outdoor lights prevent the flashes from seeing the other flashes, making it hard for them to mate. So if you really want to watch some firefly sex, turn your lights off. The flashes of fireflies on a warm summer night may remind you of a carefree childhood, like playing outside back in the 80s when I was growing up, 80s, 90s. We didn't fear strangers or drugs or the sun. My mom would just make us stay outside all day. We would chase fireflies, we would chase snakes and frogs and all kinds of shit. My brother, he even chased me with poop one time. But if you ask him, he'll tell the story as I chased him with poop. But that's another story for another time. The last time I seen fireflies was actually the day before yesterday, because I took LSD and the city outside of my balcony was just buzzing. And that's all I got.
Woo!
Awesome. Jeremy Wagner with fireflies. I almost said with the poop stick because that's written here. Jeremy, that was awesome.
It wasn't even on a stick. It was in his hand.
Oh my God. He's just
Ew.
raw dogging it. Wow.
It was the 90s. We didn't have rubber gloves back then.
Well, we did, but okay, never mind. I'll get to that in a minute. It's written down. Jeremy, that was awesome. The fact that we all wrote these within a span of very short, because I know that we all got our prompts this afternoon. So may I just say, totes awesome, all you guys. This is great.
Yeah, I just found one page. It had 11 firefly facts. So most of those things were true except for the punchline.
You know, I find that I have better sets when I write them in less time. So I'm a total slacker and I'm always like, oh yeah, I just wrote this like an hour ago. But when the whole panel does it, it is magic. It's just, mwah. So we're going turbo comedy style. This is a workshop original thing. All right. When you started the set with parasites that steal shit, all I could think was, oh, like kids. Like, that's all I could think, because I always associate children and parasites, and that just matched up. So I think there's a correlation there. What? Just because you don't get STDs don't mean you don't end up with parasites, all right?
No, I know.
Yeah, I've got a whole bit on that, but there is a correlation there, and I feel like fireflies and kids, like, there's something there. I didn't work it out completely, so I don't know. You do the work. I wrote something here, 4 weeks, lots of fucking. So like you do touch on their lifespan with lots of sex. I wrote flashers looking for nookie. I assume that's why I'm referencing the male things. ADHD is riding in the front seat. So if I didn't write it down, I really don't know what it means. I loved the circle jerk twinkle orgy. Those are the words I wrote down, man. You're welcome to them. I loved the idea of that, how they'll blink in unison to signify an orgy, but it just ends up being a circle jerk. Like, that's some primo shit, because that is relatable to human males as well. That wasn't even a joke, but all right. The dark fireflies I really loved. Like, I pictured it being like a porch light on Halloween, where she's just like, no, I don't fucking want the candy. All right, I have no candy for you. I don't want the candy from you. And then them eating the males. I'm like, okay, so she's keto. That's cool.
Well, not necessarily the male fireflies, but just like any bug of prey.
Oh, so they're just going after whoever. They don't even care. They're just like,
Yeah,
I'm eating you.
If a bug's attracted to them by their light, then they don't want sex, they'll just eat them.
Oh, this makes it even better. Yes,
They're hardcore.
This is the angry woman in the curlers in the bathrobe on Halloween at 11 p.m. that's just like, I turned that light off 2 hours ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a roll pin pinner.
Yeah, her name's like Melba or something. I do have infused death eggs written here. I just love that little fun fact. I think that's got a lot of promise and can go somewhere. Like, I don't know, maybe a delicacy, or I don't know. It's gangster as fuck. I just really like it. Now, you've already touched that your brother didn't use a stick when he was chasing you with poop. Now, I think there's probably, I'd say, maybe 3 out of 5 people in most continents probably have a brother chasing them with poop story. Like I do. I know I have one, except for he used a stick because we weren't heathens.
Oh.
But that's very relatable. Like I feel if that expanded, like I think 3 out of 5, we might just be as common as dentists. I'm not sure, but yeah, the poop stick brother chasing story, definitely relatable, has lots of legs. And yeah, that's all the feedback I have. Tags and complimentary. I loved it. Valerie, on to you.
I like how this is just like an educational workshop. I feel like I'm learning so much. I didn't know all these things about fireflies, and I don't even care which ones were true and which ones weren't, because I'll just assume they were all true.
No, they were. I can provide my sources if you want.
Can I just say I'm kind of offended that you never once mentioned Nathan Fillion at all?
Same. I'm like, how dare you not even refer to Firefly?
Can't even like tease us that we might get a second season or something. I'm sorry, I digress.
I mean, if I've never seen that show. I know the show you're talking about. I maybe would have referenced Donald Glover, the Firefly song, but I don't know the movie or the show. I'll look it up as soon as after I watch Clue.
You see the disappointed looks on mine and Valerie's face? Do you see this? Like, yeah. You've got some making up to do here, Jeremy. Yeah.
I got all day. Don't worry.
Yep. But I'm sorry. I totally interrupted Valerie. Your feedback.
I guess there's a joke about like I can start talking about fireflies that might get canceled after one season. I don't know. So
that's a good one because they do live for one season. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's
nice.
3 to 4 weeks.
It was a bit longer than that, but still. The language of love flashing. I just like also think it's Morse code. I don't know if there's somewhere to go with like what are they Morse coding to each other. And if you have some like nerds in the audience and you actually think about a Morse thing, you can make like one person giggle. Is there light on their butt? Because then it is not a booty call, it's a booty light. I don't know if there's something to work with booty and the light thing. You said dark firefly, and because my head was still in science fiction, it went, not that Star Wars is science fiction, but it is science opera. I don't know. Anyway, space opera. I was just imagining bringing in Star Wars somehow with the dark side and stuff.
Right.
Or move it towards goth fireflies, because that's kind of like how the lady firefly is starting to eat things, just being, I don't know, ripping off a bat's head. But no, that's someone else. Who was that?
Ozzy, yeah.
Ozzy. That's not really goth, but anyway, some kind of hardcore thing going on. And then the other thing, apart from like, I wrote a bunch of check marks of like, oh, I really like that. I think you also heard me laugh for those. What if like there could be a premise to think about? What if we had that ability to just like flash random parts of our body, and how would that change the dating scene, and especially raves?
Like your fingertips are lighting up, and yeah,
like E.T. Yeah, that's all I had. I thought I learned things and laughed, which is like my brand of comedy. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah. That is always awesome. I want to explore this humans having flashing parts a little bit more. Like,
yeah, I like that idea as well.
That definitely has somewhere to go. Like that could end up being an entire bit. I love it.
Like old people, their penises don't flash anymore, but more like their hips or their knees or something, because they're getting too old. Their body's like, we got other things to worry about now. But
it moves to like their little toe, and that's the only thing that still flashes.
Either that, or they just look like the diagram on an osteobiflex container. It's like the knee is radiating red light. They'll be like, oh, rain's coming. Either that or I'm horny. One or
yeah, exactly.
Those are the two options.
Rain or I'm gonna masturbate today. It's only those two things.
Rain or Ethel's going to bingo tonight. Oh God,
All
that
right.
is, yeah, that's a really good direction. Damn. All right, I love it. I love all of it. Do we have any more feedback before we move along to round 2?
Round 2, here we go.
Round 2, here we go. All right. Now, round 2 is where we bring some previously written jokes to the round table. We present 3 to 5 minutes of stuff that we've written before, jokes we've said before, and jokes that we would like some feedback and tags on. So, I am going to bring back a relic. I probably haven't said this joke in a few years, and that's because it's no longer relevant to my job, but we're going to bring it back. All right, let me get my timer going here. And all right. So, not a lot of people know this, but I actually have worked in healthcare for over 20 years. So, way back when, before I was doing the comedy thing full time, I actually managed a clinic. And I was in charge of a naturopathic clinic. Yeah, see, you can't even say it right. Real doctors, my ass. Anyways, so I managed a naturopathic clinic, which basically means that I was like in charge of a witch doctor or some shit. I don't know. Now, it's really just a matter. Well, hang on. Fuck, I haven't told this joke in so long. I'm forgetting how it goes. Let's see. Naturopaths, when they prescribe a treatment plan, it looks a lot like the Colonel's secret recipe. Like you're getting 11 herbs and spices no matter what. It's just a matter of which ones in which order and what they're going to do to you. If you take them all in the right sequence, you can basically open up Stargate or a portal to hell or some shit. I don't know. But it makes the patients taste delicious. The doctor that I worked for was also an acupuncturist, and acupuncture is really cool. If you're familiar with that, it's, you know, they're putting needles all over someone and patients dig it. It's super relaxing. But what they don't appreciate is when you start quoting Hellraiser as you're plugging your face. Yeah, it's like, we have such sights to show you. Your suffering will be legendary even in hell. Ooga chaka, ooga, ooga, ooga chaka. Yeah, not many people know that Pinhead is one of the backup singers in Blue Suede's Hooked on a Feelin'. We could go on and on and on. Let's see. Another big part of my job, one that I actually got a lot of pleasure out of, don't take this the wrong way, was drawing people's blood. Like, yeah, I would stick needles in people all day long, steal their fucking life juice. But the catch was I could only do it if a doctor told me to. Because like if you don't have orders, I found out the hard way, that's assault. Okay. Yeah. And with as often as I would do it, I would hear things over and over and over from different people. And the one I got the most is like, I'll be fine. Like, just don't make me look. Like, okay, like what do you want me to say to that? I won't look either. Like, I mean, I don't know any other way to put you at ease. Like, I'm gonna be like, all right, coming in hot. It's just a quick poke. Like, I'm not warning you for your wedding night. All right. I just want to take your blood and get on with life. Okay. So let's see. Shit. Yeah. This joke is so old. I have actually forgotten how it ends. So I know, right? Like, I made some little hopscotch notes and I actually forgot half of my jokes. So let's just rewrite it together and throw some new tags on it. I'm going to call that time. That was about 4 minutes. Let's open it up to feedback. Valerie, what do you got for me?
I wrote, it makes the patients taste delicious because I thought that was hilarious. And then I forgot to start taking notes because I was just distracted by the story.
It puts the seasoning on the skin.
I like that. Fuck it up with your dry rub.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe there's like is there a sauna as well in that clinic? Because then you can start.
There actually was. Yes.
Oh my gosh, there was. Then you're
Yes.
really cooking them. Okay.
We did have an ultrasonic sauna, and there was acupuncture and cupping. Like people would come out with like Michael Phelps hickeys on their shoulders. It was nuts. And insurance pays for this.
Wow.
I
Okay.
know. Look at Seattle capitalism, people.
How could you end it? I don't quite know. As of for now, I might think of other things while Jeremy talks. Sorry.
That is totally cool with me.
I don't have much wrote down. I thought pinhead before you said it, and then you said it, and I was like, okay, she's smarter than me. And then I don't know, Dr. Frankenstein, like maybe you work for Dr. Frankenstein. Mitch Hedberg had the joke, Dr. Acula.
Uh-huh.
Like he keeps signing the forms for drawing blood or whatever. So maybe you're putting together your own Frankenstein and you need to collect a couple of liters of blood to fill the body. Like over time, you collected these body parts as you're working as a nurse. I don't know.
I have, like, along that same line, I have been trying to work in something with like a Monstera plant where it's like it's Dr. Frankenstein's Monstera. I haven't been able to work that in anywhere because it's just 3 words, but I think that there might be some promise there. I feel like I had something with collecting blood vials, but I don't remember how it went down. Like this joke's old. It has not seen the light of day in a while, so that's why I wanted to bring it here, because this place always gives the best feedback.
There is definitely like an angle going into like old horror tropes.
Well, somebody like in the expats group here brought up that cupping thing, like because somebody had it done in the Olympics. And they're like, what would leave marks on the body of someone like that? And my response was, girlfriends with big mouths leave big hickeys.
I would love to go with that, but like, I don't know, the act of fire cupping is just so, like, I don't know. I don't want to say absurd because it's actually really cool, but you're literally putting fire into a little fishbowl and then sticking it on someone's skin and then waiting for a hickey to form and pulling it off. And so like I kind of want to take it somewhere like, you know, the faking a hickey in high school, like sticking the vacuum cleaner to your neck, or
Hickey from Kaniki is, I don't know what the code is. There's
like a Hallmark card.
Yeah. What is it? Because he doesn't give him to anyone or something? I don't know.
I think it was just because Rizzo was covered in them, but there's definitely like, yeah, that come out looking like Rizzo or like Nikki's prom date.
One second.
Oh, things are happening.
What does cupping, like, I'm just curious. Does it just relax you, or is it specific points on the body, like acupuncture?
It's supposed to stimulate circulation so that way it can relieve inflammation. Like it's supposed to flush toxins, and I've had it done. It is beneficial. It actually feels really nice. Okay. However, it is one of those like natural medicine things that's so unknown that you could really play with it, and just being straight up and being honest about it itself sounds like a joke. Mm-hmm. Like you literally are putting fire in a fishbowl and sticking it on somebody. All right, what you got for me?
Oh, I got this.
Oh, I thought you were coming back with some great like prop comedy, and I'm like, you piece of shit. No, I'm just kidding. No. Okay. Do we have any more feedback tags or anything? We've got some shit here though. I really appreciate the feedback I got because there's some stuff to build on. Good. Awesome. Very much appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Valerie, let's move it along to you. You got 5 minutes, starting the timer, and take it away.
Okay, here's some random prompts that I've been working on. I've been thinking of getting a new tattoo, but I really want to make sure that I get one that won't age badly, because my last tattoo that I got was this one, which is the Deconstructed Deathly Hallows. So not the greatest thing to have etched on your skin. But I guess there's like worse stuff. I'm glad I don't have like, I don't know, a Pepe the Frog tattoo. Didn't age well. Daenerys, like, also not a great tattoo to get. And this is a story I heard from someone. Apparently, right in the beginning of 2020, someone had thought about a tattoo really long and decided to finally get it. So now this person has tattooed on their arm, "I will not wear a mask." But like in 2020, I mean, at the time it didn't mean anything bad. Okay. Sometimes I text my mom stuff and she texts me back like, "Oh, you just made my day. You made me laugh really hard." And then I realize that when I'm not trying to be funny, I'm actually quite funny, which makes no sense that I then do stand-up comedy. But here we are. I was recently reminded of my early 2000s email address. I don't know if any one of you had like a Hotmail address. Early 2000s, I was like early teens, just to give you that context. My email address was xxxvaleriexxx@hotmail.com. And I had that until like 2007 when I was definitely too old to, I should have known what it meant by then. My full last name is Pennsylvania, which is one of those names that I automatically start spelling when I tell people. Basically, people write it wrong often. And I think the worst one I've heard is Vagina, which I don't know. There's like not more of a joke there. It's just funny in itself. And I didn't even write it because why would I write my own last name wrong? I am a scientist and I like learning about random science facts. One that I learned recently is that vaginas have a pH that is slightly acidic. It has a pH around 3.5 to 4.8, which is actually similar to a lot of things that you might find in your kitchen, like beer, wine, tomatoes, pickles, which made me think like, because pickles are basically just cucumbers put in acid environments, right? So is that why that trope of like buying a cucumber in a store? Yeah.
Oh, wow, pickling.
I think I have one more. I realized that when I have to, there's like a biological reason for people who have a uterus, they have to like pee when they get aroused. And I have more on that. But I also realized that I have to pee when I'm stressed. So now I have this very confusing thing that when I have to pee, I have to ask myself, am I stressed or am I aroused? So like, I don't know. I'm just like randomly walking on the street and I see a handsome person. I have to pee. I guess I must be aroused. Or I don't know. I have a job interview. I guess I'm stressed. Or until I walk into that job interview and see there's a black couch in the room. I don't know. Who knows? So, yeah.
That was good.
Okay. I think that's what I have for now. Unless I have like 5 minutes. I don't have 5 minutes left because that's impossible.
You got 45 seconds left.
I have another one that's like, I don't understand the term sapiosexual because like Homo sapiens basically, like, do you like Homo sapiens? Is that what that's about? Because I'd hope so. Is that what we're specifying right now? I also know I can go into the etymology. I actually shouldn't do that because I also know what it means. Never mind.
Well, now I gotta know.
Well, I think Homo sapiens is just because we're like the Homo that got smart. So sapiosexual is people who like intellect, but it's just people trying to be smug. Like, I like brains before anything else. Like, well, I don't know. Don't cut me open and look at my brain because that sounds kind of creepy.
I hear sapiosexual and I'm like, People that dig tree sap. Okay. Oh, Canadians and their maple syrup. I can dig it.
That's funny.
Food
I know. I'm a
fetish,
stupid American that never completed their vocabulary assignments. Oh my god. Okay, so sapiosexual, not into maple syrup. Check. I need to know these things. Okay. Uh, Valerie, that was an awesome set. I loved it. I love the tattoos that don't age well. That could go places. The only thing that I have here is like the one where it's like, I will not wear a mask. It could maybe be turned into, I will not wear a masked singer t-shirt. I don't know where that could go, but that's what I wrote down.
Tattoo fixes. That's one that could work.
Yeah, I will not wear a masking tape tube top. I don't know. Like, there's places that could go. A lot of room for growth there. The old screen names that you were delving on, I actually just posted a status on Thursday where I'm like, all right, so I just remembered out of nowhere, my very first internet handle was Cyberella. You're welcome. Like, yeah, I just had this random thought out of nowhere as my kid's in the dentist getting his teeth cleaned. And I'm like, oh my God, 1996 was wild. Because there wasn't even any numbers after it. We didn't need to. I went, Cyberella, sounds good. And the internet was like, cool, you're the very first one to think of that.
Very first one.
Wow.
And I'm going to take that to my grave, even though I'm pretty sure that there's like some weird sexy anime that's probably called the same thing. I don't know. We'll look into it. If not, hit me up. I'll greenlight it. But I actually went through and started remembering old screen names. And then I had friends from high school going, oh my God, I remember that one. And I'm like, please don't. No, we don't need to. Nope. Oh, you remember that one too? That's great. The Benti vagina thing, I'm obviously, I laughed out loud. The fact that people mess my last name up a lot and I get Christian Wiener, I really think that you and I could become a really awesome crime fighting duo. It's just like Benta Vagina and Christian Wiener. It's like, are we religious? We don't know, but we're fighting crime with genitalia. It's like, who's toting what? It's none of your damn business. The stress P thing, I relate way too hard on that one. Just because right before any set, like if it's on stage, obviously with Zoom, I'm not going to pee on my couch. But I'm like holding it, even if I just peed. And it's because that's stress pee. And it's like either I'm super horny to hold a microphone or I'm stressed the fuck out. And then the casting couch nod. You didn't even have to say casting couch, but as soon as you're like, until I see the black sofa, Jeremy and I both lost it. That was a beautiful reference. Very well placed. And then I already told you what I think a sapiosexual is, and now I'm getting ready to cancel my maple syrup order. But that's all the feedback I got, Valerie. That was an awesome set. I very much enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Jeremy, what do you got?
Just very little. I wrote down like peeing in a bottle for some reason based off of what you said, Tara. Like maybe while you're driving in the car, I remember doing that one time. My mom's like, yeah, just pee in this beer can. We're not stopping. And I'm like, the beer can has an edge. Like you don't want to hit a bump and slice off. So like I never peed in the tip in the can, but I have peed in a bottle. And
that's
then
going to make open mics awkward though.
Exactly. And then speaking of screen names, I recently got an email from Jesus, and I also got followed by a girl on Instagram called 69 So Fine. And then my housemate, his Hotmail address, he used it to apply for a job recently. His name's Kane. And then at the end of it, he put US to make people think that he's from the United States. He's from England. So it says Canis. Like, that's pretty cool screen name for him. And then you said that, like, vaginas have a pH level. And I'm wondering if that's what's causing my heartburn every night. And then pickling. I mean, like you're pickling your own cucumbers or whatever. I think that was something you said, but that was good. That's all I got.
Thank you.
Yeah, Jeremy, if you sprinkle baking soda just directly on what you're eating, you can stop the heartburn before it happens. I mean, things might fizz, but who knows? It might feel nice. Oh my god. Great heartburn joke, man. Oh my gosh. Now, if a vagina has a pH level and it gets the D, does it then have a PhD?
Oh my god. Wow.
I think that has to be in there somewhere.
Okay. Wow. May I?
Maybe.
Well, yeah, absolutely. That's what this place is for.
Human could be a base, though.
Well, if you bleach it, bleach is a base. You can drop that base. Let's see. Bring in the
It's all
base.
about the base.
Let's see. Bleach.
You're trying to think back to chemistry right now. How do we
How do we make the pH of a vagina 0? Bleach.
You don't want it to be 0. Oh, sorry.
No,
0 is more acidic.
We
You
want
want
it
it
to be
7.
a nice crisp 7.
Yeah.
Punani Dasani.
I have some friends who have like I have a friend who has a joke about sitting down in a pH indicator, and now she knows for sure her ass is basic, and like so there's like a ton of like really good acid. I have a friend has like, oh, if someone's really basic and they do acid, does that make it like neutralize them? So I don't know. I want to make sure that if I do jokes like that, it's a new take on it.
I feel like there's room in there for like your toxic ass friend, or
Oh yeah.
end up in a toxic ass relationship. Like if your pH is unbalanced, are you in a toxic ass situation?
Yeah.
Or like you're doing keto, you have these leftover pH strips, so you just tested yourself.
Shaking it like a Polaroid.
Oh my god! I actually tested the pH. No, I will not. I have not tested the pH of my vagina. It seems really weird to do, but
What if they had like
You've done
vagina
homework there, Valerie.
like the pool testers that the pool guys do, where they're like sitting there and well, this is green. That's not good. That's my urine sample, sir. The vagina pH, that's got a lot of potential. Oh my god.
yeah, I feel like I need like to expand on it.
It's got some room for growth, like a lot of room for growth. I hope you bring that back to another workshop because I want to see where this goes.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
I have more tags floating around my head. I just can't grab any of them right now.
If you ever grab them, I'm on the.
I'll just message them to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's got so much potential. Just like, especially like with the kind of shows that you do, like there's that whole chemistry angle, and oh my god, you could like bring in a Bunsen burner, like, you know.
Just science on stage. I have like, if I ever, sometimes I do it and I do a throwback because I talk about tardigrades, which are tiny little creatures that live in extreme circumstances, like extreme pH. Not in my vagina, I hope. Anyway.
Now, what are those sea monkeys?
There's other creatures in my vagina that you don't need to know about. Anyway.
They're really just shrimp wearing crowns. Oh, now I feel like there's room to like go into like, you know, the let's see, the happening of a yeast infection, and then the introduction of a Bunsen burner, and then
Bread.
Somewhere the bread gets burned.
Yeah, they don't really have to be relatable to each other, but if that was your punchline, you had 3 different punchlines, and that was your 5-minute set, and you're like, it comes all together, and I made some bread.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, chemistry and cooking is like the same thing. So
here we go. We've got a comment from a viewer. Sea monkeys, pea monkeys. That's an excellent correlation there.
There you go. Yeah.
It's like, what do they eat? Don't worry about it.
I need to feed them. They're thriving.
They're getting big. I usually come by the house and see the pea monkeys. I've transferred them into an aquarium now. They're eating a loaf of bread a day. They're getting pretty big.
You're gonna end up with a gluten intolerance. Now my sea monkey's got celiac. They're celiac monkeys. See, there's so much room for this to grow.
I did not know this would lead us this far. This is amazing.
No, this is what
I
happens.
love the workshop. It's so
This, oh God, this. See, Scott, if you're watching, this is why we love the workshop. Oh man, and Scott, hope you're doing well. All right. Do we have any more feedback on Valerie's set before we get moving along to Jeremy?
I think that's all I have.
Cool. I bet Valerie's inbox is just going to start blowing up with like pH and yeast infection jokes, and it's going to be wonderful.
Lovely.
Jeremy, you are up whenever you're ready, sir. Take it away.
Okay. You guys, I'm sorry if you waited all this time to see Jason Statham tell jokes. I'm just a guy who's on drugs, and I think I'm Jason Statham, so it's not gonna be. You guys remember back to pre-social media days where your grandma would bake fresh apple pies, and then she would have to like let that pie air out. My grandma would walk it across the street to show her friend Doris that she made a pie. Doris would give it a thumbs up, and then we could have the pie. My dad would work in the driveway all day. He'd be trying to fix the car, and he'd get to a point in the evening where you'd hear the horn honk, and then you'd hear the engine rev up, and that was my dad signaling to his buddies down the street that the car was fixed and he wanted to drink some beer. Actually, that's a lie because my dad wasn't even around. The good book, the Bible, says that we need to honor our mothers and fathers, and I look around the Zoom tonight and there's so much disappointment, mainly because I'm on Spotlight. Thank you for that. That's a joke. My mom taught me about table manners. She said, if you can't say anything nice at the dinner table, you don't say nothing at all. So I haven't seen my dad since. It turns out he wasn't mad about me playing with dolls as a kid. He just had really good table manners. So as an adult, my favorite food is food that I don't have to cook. So I love to go to the restaurant. Like they got no cooking, no cleaning. There's always free bubble gum underneath the table after you're done. But of course, I remember my manners, 3 chews, and then I put it back for someone else. Before coming to Vietnam, I loved rice. I loved rice and gravy, rice and shrimp, rice and bacon, rice and beef, rice and chicken, rice, 1 time a week. It was awesome. Now we're in lockdown for 7 weeks, and I've eaten 42,038 pieces of rice in 7 weeks. Every day I eat rice. I hate rice now. When I'm not eating rice, I am eating rice noodles, all right? The guy down the street grows these. You go down there, they're still wet. He puts them into a bag and weighs them by the kilo. You come home, you slap some soup water on there, and you got breakfast. You got lunch, you got dinner. Rice noodles are not my friend as well. My neighbors have been seeing me eat so much rice, they're calling me vanilla rice. And doom, 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 doom. That's racist. Yeah. So like there was 2 guys fighting in the street near my house, and like the one guy punched the other guy in the face. Rice everywhere, and it was bad. Yeah. So I was at the restaurant the other day. I overheard a Vietnamese guy say, "If this fish is not marinated in sewage water, then I don't want it." But I'm not really good at speaking Vietnamese, so I don't really know what he said. Um, I went to I went to a fish oil factory to get the tour and see how they made fish oil. Fish oil is used for everything here in Vietnam, for cooking, for cleaning, for washing your clothes. They make fish oil. This is pretty weird. They take the fish and they like wring the oil out, like if it was like a washcloth or something like that. And then we went on the tour of the baby oil factory. Same thing. I don't know how much time I got.
Minute 15.
Awesome. So like they say that these rich guys are going to space and everybody's like complaining, why are they not taxed? How do they got all this money? I think Jeff Bezos went to space to like maybe see if he could put like an Amazon shipping center on the moon. And then we could probably ship all of our homeless people to the moon. We could probably ship all of our COVID patients to the moon for social distancing, make the earth COVID free again. And then all those homeless people would have jobs. So maybe Bezos was actually going to space to get a sense of homelessness. You know, he probably never felt that before. I don't know how to write that joke. So, you guys know, I'll give you a link to my podcast so you can not listen to me at home. That would be good. What was the name of the horror movie where the killer's chasing the girl and she, dumbass, runs upstairs into a room with 6 black guys? What was that movie? Okay, so I'll end with this. Or I got 2. Okay, yeah, I'll just end with this one. So you guys know doing Zoom comedy is just like being in the U.S. military, because when I bomb it, I'm not even in your country. So thank you.
Oh my God. Oh man. Okay, hang on. I'm still writing feedback. All right. When I get to this last one, I'm not going to know what the hell I meant because I wrote half a sentence.
Okay.
Jeremy, awesome set. I loved how you opened with the Jason Statham references and roasting yourself. Let's see. I don't remember the exact word you used, but you said something about Jason Statham on drugs.
No, yeah, I said I'm just on drugs and I think I'm Jason Statham.
There we go. Great spot to slip like a Crank reference in there.
Like I've said, I have a different joke for that where I talk about I'm his stunt double and he's coming to Vietnam to make this movie about being a comedian. Well, the guy's not even a comedian. It's just a guy who speaks into a microphone. His name's Jeremy Wagner. And then like at the end, he bombs and like blows up the comedy club and never does comedy again.
See, there you go. There's the storyline for Crank 3.
Crank, that's good.
You already
I've gotten
got
the
it.
meth thing so many times. So yeah, thank you. It's in my eyes, I know.
Well, no, because he did the movie Crank. You're calling yourself Jason Statham on drugs or something to that effect. I suck at verbatim. We're just gonna put that out there now. But yeah, right there with him coming to Vietnam to bomb at comedy. There's your storyline for Crank 3. Get that shit greenlit. Doris, well, you don't know this, Grandma never told you, but she was actually like a government sent agent. She's a pie inspector. I feel like there's some kind of like Doris could be some secret agent and you never found out until you received a letter in the mail where the government wants you to be an official pie inspector and you're like, oh, Doris, I knew it.
I do have a joke about my grandma working for the government being a secret agent as well. So that's good. I like that.
And that's how she met Doris. There you go.
Yeah.
Let's see. If you can't say something nice, don't say it at all. You could lead that into something about like how you were treated as a child with silent treatment.
Okay.
I know that's all I wrote was silent treatment and then an arrow. Okay. I don't know what my brain did there. Let's see. The free communal bubble gum. I liked where you were going with that. It does draw groans, but with the right shit, groan is good as a laugh. So I feel like that actually gives one of those like, I want to laugh, but God, I can taste that bubble gum kind of thing. But it's a very like immersive joke. Like you can like, I don't know, for lack of a better term, I could have tasted that joke. You're talking about the rice and the rice noodles and everything weighed by the kilo. I figured there's a good spot to throw in some drug references if you're going to nod to those.
Yeah.
You know, I buy funner things by the kilo, and here I am with fucking rice. The vanilla rice thing, I loved that. And then when you came back and you're like, that's racist. Well, or is it racist?
Oh.
Could also be delicious. I mean, come on, horchata, man, vanilla cinnamon rice. Yeah, hop on that Mexican train, homeboy. Let's see, marinated in sewage. The guy talking about the fish and your poor translation. You could be like, I translated based on tonal inflection and what it smelled like. Let's see, Bezos go to space. Call back to silent treatment. Oh, Jeffrey Bezos was going to where people wouldn't say anything if they had nothing nice to say. I don't know. I feel like he was going to space to find somewhere that people won't talk about him. And then that could give you a callback to the silent treatment and your dad leaving, because like I said, I'm bad at verbatim. But that's the feedback I got for you. Awesome set. Absolutely loved it. I wish I made more sense when I'm writing things down, because the feedback would be much more specific. But that's what I got.
Perfect.
That's what I got for you. Valerie, you are up with feedback for Jeremy. What do you got?
Well, I wanted to learn more about Doris, but I think I already have now. Clearly, government agent. I think I might have. Does the person down the street grow rice noodles? Is that how you said it, or are they grow?
I said they grow them, so they're fresh out of the ground. They're still wet.
Okay.
As opposed to like spaghetti noodles that are dry when you buy them.
Huh. There's like,
so like you really, all you do is you make some soup, like meat and some soup water and some vegetables, and then the noodles are already basically wet. So you just put them in a bowl and put hot water on them, and then you eat it.
Okay, I was just imagining them like being growing off a tree or something.
Yeah, like are they coming out of the ground? Like is it like a weeping willow?
Well, rice grows out of the ground, yeah. So that's what I was kind of going for.
Okay. They're so fresh. Okay.
There is this video that they made like 75 years ago. It's a hoax video where they're like, here we are in Italy where it's the rice it's spaghetti noodle harvest season. And you see this tree and it's just covered in noodles, and they're like picking them off and hanging them so that they can dry and all this. And it's pretty funny. So that's kind of where I got that idea that rice noodles were grown instead of made.
Okay. Huh.
But you do actually, like, there is, I guess maybe this guy's job is to produce rice noodles. So he buys the things and then he grinds up the rice somehow and produces that into noodles. I don't know how they do it.
Maybe he seeds rice grains in the ground and it grows into a noodle. I think it kind of just like went a little quickly for that to land. But it did catch my attention. So, yeah. Maybe say just like how spaghetti grows from trees, at least they don't have to dry the noodles.
There you go. Yeah. Describe what it's growing from.
The vanilla rice joke, I couldn't help. Like if you turn your da 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 into under pressure somehow, just because I mean it is plagiarized. Just to throw people off, because everyone thought you were going to say rice, baby, but you did not.
Well, it is wrote down. It says vanilla rice, racist.
Oh.
But maybe I didn't say the vanilla rice part because I had said it already once before. But yeah, I do have the words of the song, so it's like doom 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 vanilla rice racist.
Okay.
Good.
I was thinking under pressure pot. I don't know if that's a rice thing either, but
Under pressure. Nice.
That's good. Yeah.
if you want to mix it up sometimes. And I think for the fish oil joke, I don't know if there's like another factory you can visit first that also rings out just to like make the baby one more.
Okay. Yeah. More hit more harder.
Yeah, if you're like, it reminded me of when I went to Italy and I don't know, sorry for Italy, but visited an olive oil factory. And then this one time I went to insert random country. If you can't put fish oil all in the same place.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I had. Yeah, it was fun though.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
Yeah, good feedback. Thank you.
I agree with the because that was something that I didn't write down was the rice noodles being grown. You could totally keep the whole like growing of the rice noodles if you described it a little more. Like you could be like, I don't know, is it a tree? Is it a bush? Is it a shrub? Like, do you pull it from the ground like a carrot? I don't know. I've never seen it, but the guy grows them.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, if you go anywhere outside of the city, that's mostly what you see in the South Vietnam area is just rice fields forever.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'll think of something about that.
Yeah, you could like, or even like what Valerie said, like, yeah, you know, grows just like the spaghetti trees in Italy, you know, except for you don't got to dry these ones out. Like that right there, like people could even be like, what, spaghetti grows in trees in Italy? And you could actually throw some people for a loop there. Like it's a good like blind misdirect because you're actually not revealing the misdirect, which then you could even leave that open for a callback to something else.
Spaghetti noodles. Yeah. Okay. I like it.
Yeah, that's Valerie opened up a really good can of worms with that. That's
what I do. All the worms, all the cans, all the time.
All the cans, all the worms, they're everywhere. Holy crap. That was awesome sets. Oh my gosh, awesome jokes, you guys. Do we have any more feedback for Jeremy?
No.
I don't.
Good job, Jeremy.
Holy crap, guys. Everybody. Yeah. Pats on backs.
Good job, everyone.
You guys, so that brings us to the end of another session of the comedy workshop. Now, before we get out of here, I do want to thank everyone that tuned in and watched. I want to thank Valerie and Jeremy for joining me. And I want to thank you guys for the laughs that we had. This was an awesome session. But before we get out of here, let's go around and tell people where they can find you, what you got going on, and where they can follow to find your greatness. Valerie, let's start with you.
You can follow me on Instagram at wait, I did not update this. It is Valerie Benti right now, which is a better one. Let me, I don't know. I'll type it in the comments on the Facebook thing later.
We'll get some links.
Valerie-Benti on Twitter, on Instagram. I run a monthly geeky open mic, which is every first Saturday in Seattle in Distant World Coffee House. We just started going back in person every first Saturday of the month, and every third Saturday I do it on my Instagram virtually. And just follow me for more geeky, nerdy stuff, because that's what I do. Yeah.
Totally the jam. Jeremy, how about you? Where can we find you, and what do you have going on?
I'm in lockdown right now, so I don't really have anything going on. I'll probably just be in the corner of the room crying. No, I don't really have anything going on. I'm on Facebook. I'll share all those links in the video. It's right there. That's YouTube. That's Twitter, and that's Instagram, and then Jeremy Wagner on Facebook and YouTube.
Very awesome. And me, as usual, I am Tara Christian Wiedner. You can find me on Instagram at Tara Christian Comedy. If you click my link tree in the bio, that's going to lead you to all of my show dates, ticket links, merch store, and all of the other stuff. You can follow my company, Loaded Relaxation Comedy, on Facebook, and you'll find out all the things that we got going on, productions, shows, and all the in-betweens. But until then, just keep tuning in to the workshop each night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. And if you'd like to get on an episode, just contact Scott or Kevin and they will get you on. So I'll see you guys next Sunday or anytime in between if needed. Stay funny, party people, and I enjoyed laughing with you. Thanks so much. Bye.